Welcome to Season 6 of the Long-Winded One podcast. This is Spoiler Sessions, LitRPG, the only show where spoilers don't spoil anything. We're digging into fan theories, side characters, and the lore authors left in the drawer.
All right. Welcome everyone to, I think this is episode 7 already of season 6. I think I'm on. I'm losing count now, guys. But we have 11 people in the chat joining us for what's, I think, going to be a really fun night with Tommy Kerper, the Sourpatch Hero, and Jade Krauss, spelled Krauss, not any other way. Is that right?
Correct.
Not that I've ever misspelled it, but welcome you guys.
Hey,
that's okay. You can talk over each other. We're very impolite here.
Mm-hmm.
So, gentlemen, we are still. I do this every week, and this week I happen to have 2 people that I interviewed. So we are still 26 weeks away from LitRPG Con. I use that as a marker to like how many people in the community I've gotten to know better, and as a writer myself, like how much work I've put out between cons. So 26 weeks out, and we're here tonight. This is spoiler sessions, right? So we're going to talk about very specific things. Places in your stories, people in your stories, possibly races in your stories, lore maybe that you've included or not included, and then we'll kind of close up shop tonight before Pop goes live at 9:00, and I'll make it a little announcement there at the end. Are you guys ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I know you guys are planners. You told me that before.
So untrue.
So untrue. Yeah. So let me just introduce. If you're here, you are probably familiar with Tommy and Jay and their body of work. Jay has written Will of the Immortals. It's a 7-book series, soon to be 8, with the MC Leon. He's written the prequel, the Immortals Mask series, which is about a character from Will of the Immortals, and it takes place, I believe, about 2,000 years before.
Give or take.
Give or take.
I don't want to hard line that one. You know how it goes.
1 or 2 years, yeah.
I don't plan.
And he has a new book out, which is a Patreon exclusive. It is a VRMMO, bringing back the VR. It's called Lighting the Forge. He also refers to it as Founders Edition. I'm not sure which of the titles is going to be the working title, but
series is Founders Edition.
Gotcha. Okay, but this is book 1, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then we have Tommy Kerper here, aka Sourpatch Hero, or are you Sourpatch Hero, aka Tommy Kerper? It's up to you.
I go either way. It's fine. Whatever. I answered to so many different things at the con. It's just my name now.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, you have written books 1 through 3. Is that right? Or 1 through
4?
1 through 4 now of
yeah.
I'm Not the Hero.
Yes.
Which is an amazing it's an amazing concept, and we'll get into that. So what I thought we'd do before we start discussing very specific things, and hopefully you guys are watching the chat because I'm just yammering on. Pop's here. And Doug is here, and we have a whole bunch of people in the chat here. Did I miss any questions? Jay is showing his face. Yes, he is. I'm just any other questions here I missed, post them again, you guys. I'll start paying attention more to chat, I promise. Let's start with Tommy, if you can, and give us a little bit, like if people are just stumbling into this and maybe they're like, wow, those are 3 very attractive men, and I'm just going to watch this random YouTube video. Tell us about your books. What are they about? Very high level.
Very high level. I read so many stories of and watched so much anime of that classic trope. Somebody gets hit by a truck. They're the hero. They have to defeat the demon lord and save the world. And I was like, but what if his best friend came along and knew all the tropes and tried to stop him from being the, typical stupid hero that I was getting tired of reading and watching. over and over again. So yeah, my story is about the best friend of the hero who comes along and learns how, even though his class isn't the hero, he can also be heroic in his own way.
And super powerful with his,
Yes,
what's
and of
going on.
course, he gets powers and becomes integral to the story. Yeah.
So if we refer to characters later, so Orin is the character that we're talking about, the best friend, so to speak, the MC.
Orin is my main character. He is not the hero, and then Daniel is the hero. So although the story itself revolves around Daniel being the hero and going to try to save the day, my story is about Orin, his best friend, who constantly tries to keep him from falling into trouble.
Got it. Okay. Well, and we're going to talk about some other characters later. So
Yeah.
thank you. All right. And Jay, let's start with the books that people are probably most familiar with, right? The Will of the Immortals series and the Immortals Mask prequel. I want to give us a not to lump them together, but
No, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Same universe for sure. I guess the one that most people will have read is Will of the Immortals, which is a German knight isekai into a world of magic, gods, and monsters, and forced to discover how to survive in such an environment. And the Immortals Mask follows Satow, who is a character we meet in book 1 of Will of the Immortals as a young man, and he goes through some stuff. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it seems like their path is, as characters, are very different in order to sort of cultivate, I guess, is it, progress, to use the two words that we're very familiar with. And so the main characters, in case we refer to them, we're talking about Leon, right, in Will of the Immortals, and Satow, you said, in the Immortals Mask. Okay. And now let's talk about Lighting the Forge.
Book 1 of Founders Edition is Lighting the Forge, and it's going to follow Brant, who I stole the name from Tommy. I hope you don't hate me for that, but
Yeah, it's fine.
It's a VRMMO because I want to bring that back. I miss VRMMO and I want to read it, so I'm going to write it. We just finished book 1. It's at 775 pages, 900 on Kindle, something ridiculous. But I don't want to spoil too much. I think we'll go into it some more later, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, we will talk about some spoilers, but nothing terrible. Nothing to ruin anybody's whole experience, right? We like little teasers. We'll call it. I should have called this teaser sessions instead of spoiler sessions. All right, so we're gonna go right into how about places, okay? And I'll let whoever wants to go first. Tommy, we talked about this ahead of time. Jay, we talked about this ahead of time. I did mention Tommy first, so you're welcome to go, Tommy, if you want to. But there's well, I don't want to take it. You take it from here. I've prepped you.
No. I mean, prep me. So I have a bunch of places. I have a bunch of different countries and parts of the world that I've created that I have fully mapped out in my mind and in my notes that I just never was able to explore like I wanted to in the story, because as we discussed, me and Jay are both very much pantsers. We have an idea of a story and then we just kind of watch our characters do whatever the hell they want, which is really fun, but also annoying when I'm like, oh, I've got this wonderful country called Veskar and I've split it into all these little city states, and I know who rules which one and how all of the governments work and how they interact with each other. And I'm 95% sure that they will never go to Veskar because the story hasn't brought them there. And it makes me so angry because, oh my God, like the orcs live there. They've retreated from most of the orc race, which I know it's getting into your next thing, but most of the orc race has retreated to one of the countries in Veskar, and they have their own tribal community there. It's led by war chiefs, and it's very classic high fantasy. And I just haven't been able to write that in because that hasn't been part of their story, which is so annoying because I love it so much. And the same goes with the Demon Lands, which I'm thinking actually, I recently in book 6, I'm writing book 6 now. I have started to toy with the idea of maybe letting them go over there a little bit, which would be amazing because there's so much for them to explore.
Yeah.
But I was told multiple times by multiple people, just keep writing this series, write more books. And I was like, I could drag them around the world on adventures, but the story I wanted to tell, I have it. Like I have that. I feel like I can see it in sight, and I'm about to grab it. At the end of book 5, which I wrote recently, I was able to hit the one plot point of the entire series that I've had in mind since I wrote the first chapter, and it was the most cathartic feeling to be like, yes. So now I'm in that like final like reach for the end. But yeah, so Veskar, wonderful country of miscreants, a melting pot of different races that I'm not sure we're gonna be able to explore.
That's gotta kill you as an author, though, right? Like,
I've got 14 pages on Veskar, 14 pages of notes of just
clearly we need an orc MC.
There you go.
Yeah, just write another story. Exactly. Why not?
Where did you get the name Veskar? Do you have the orcish language in your head, or you just thought it sounded cool?
He's a Mandalorian fan.
Well, that's kind of where I was going.
So actually, I think I wrote this before Mandalorian came out, because Veskar came in 2022, 2023 when I started writing, and that's before Mando, right? When I'm naming things, it's my least favorite thing. My least favorite part of writing is naming characters and countries. So I will literally slap my keyboard, and whatever random bunch of letters looks kind of. That's how I got Odrana. That's how I got Veskar.
At least you don't do like they did in that whatever movie, like catchphrase, right? You just put in like a placeholder and leave the placeholder.
I've a few times written characters for a while with just X, like that's their name, X, and then later on, as they kind of develop, I'm like, that kind of reminds me of this person I know. I'll just name them that, and that'll be their name from now on. So, which is probably not the best way to name characters, but.
Well, Jay, let's switch to you. We have a couple of questions here in the chat. You guys think I was going to ignore them, but I'm not. So 2 questions. I have a question for Jay. How much of a story do you have mapped out, which I think we kind of covered, in your head before you dig in and start? But you can probably drill into it a little more. And then we have a question about the new book. Somewhere. It's where you guys are chatting so much that I'm losing it. Jared ignored us. No, I'm not ignoring you. They just, you guys aren't here to listen to me talk. You're here to listen to them. All right, let's start with that, Jay, until I find the other question.
I think my wife said it best in the chat. No plans, only vibes. Like I was saying before we started, I'm not a writer. I just sit there and write an incident report from whatever my characters are doing. So I end up, I know how the series is going to end. I know how it's going to connect to the other series. And I know in the book that I'm in what the main event is, right? Like I want something big to happen, but everything else is just me playing D&D with my characters. I throw stuff at them and see what happens, because I'm a character first kind of writer. I know my characters really well, which I don't know how anyone writes it the other way, because if your characters suck, it doesn't matter how good your world is. No one's going to care. You can have a not very fleshed out world and really good characters, and people will read it because they're there for the characters. They're there for the connection. And so I just throw stuff at them and see what happens. And like Tommy was alluding to earlier, sometimes they do stuff that I did not see coming. And then suddenly we are completely off track, and I got to figure out how to make that work. But, to belabor that point, my characters in and of themselves are not planned, like all of them, in fact, except for Leon. So even Hannah was not a planned character. Lin Ma was supposed to be just a shopkeeper that we met. Satao sort of came out of nowhere as sort of like an enigmatic, powerful person. He was never supposed to come back, and now he has his own series. So you never know what's going to happen. You know, I don't make plans. I just
100%.
vibe.
Yeah. So Ali says, Lighting the Forge is so cool. How many books do you think there will be? And then another person tried to answer for you. I think so. Could be your longest series, someone said. Is that true?
Maybe book thickness wise. I don't know. I mean, this is the proof. Pretty chunky book.
Chunky, yeah.
That's trade. That's 6x9. So it's a chunk. I like this. I like the series a lot. I like the characters already. So the difficult part is going to be fitting it into the other 2 series I'm currently writing. And honestly, if this takes off, I'm going to have to make some decisions about employment because I am working full time still. So we'll see. I probably am planning 5 or 6, but you know how I do.
Well, I was thinking of this today, like the more like palate cleansing series authors write, suddenly now you have 3 series and then you have 4. And then it's like, how do you keep up the pace? It's like an Eric Uglin pace, right? Like that's
I'm writing 1 to 1.5 million words a year right now. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I just do stuff.
I just have to jump in real quick. I just checked, and recently I have still not hit 1 million words for my entire series. So good job, Jay. You beat me in a year.
I don't know what to tell you. It's not a marathon, it's a sprint. I don't
This is why I sport his wares, right? Here we go. Can everyone
excellent.
see it? There we go. Okay, so we have to get back. We got to get back on track here. I told you we probably go a little longer than 30 minutes, and we probably will. But you were going to tell us about Jade Wild, Jay. Is that right?
Yeah, I can do that. I was a little bit sort of inspired by Tommy talking about his world, but Jade Wild is certainly very similar in that regard. So it's a VR game that the main character is thrown into, and I won't say why or how, but the world is very much classic MMO, just huge because it's meant to accommodate the entire world. This is near future where the technology actually exists for full dive, so there's definitely a population increase from now. I haven't said how many, and I'm not going to because I'm not putting numbers out there like that. I'm not going to do that to myself. But it's meant to accommodate the entire population of the world to play this game. So it's huge. And when he starts the game, he gets to choose his race, and the race list is massive. Like this, I can do anything I want with it, and that's kind of the idea, giving myself a blank slate. And the AI that controls it has... it explains that she's sort of been there since the primordial ooze in her mind. So she's built this world from nothing, from single cell organisms. She knows it better than anybody, and so it's sort of evolved naturally, obviously very accelerated rate in reality. But I think it's going to be fun.
I do too.
It is very fun.
Yeah, and it is a really cool concept, and yes, go check it out. So if they want to check it out now, they join your Patreon. Is that right?
That's the way to read it currently, but it'll be out in full April the 17th, and we should be doing same day audio as well.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing. All right. Well, I'm going to switch us. I'm going to progress us. You see what I did there? Okay, to races and characters. And I guess I'm just going to assign Tommy to go next, if that's cool. And I want to talk about dragons. There be dragons.
Yeah. So when I first started writing, I had this plan of like a very small plan of, okay, these are all of the races in the world and dragons are going to be there. And I know how dragons are going to be interacting with the rest of the world, but I'm not going to be able to get to that for a long time. So I put it on the back burner, and then I thought, oh, well, I'll eventually be able to open that up after like 2 or 3 books. And it was the end of book 4 before there was a chance of talking about where the dragons are and what's going on. And then I thought, oh, it'll happen in book 5. And I got through all of book 5 and nothing happened with the dragons again. There's still a chance that I can talk about the dragons in book 6, but things happened in the past And depending on how far up in the series you are, things have happened in the past to the system itself, and because of that, the dragons realized how dangerous the other races were, and they just fucked off. Yeah. And so like they are still there. They still watch over some of the mostly over on the demon lands, are the best people who have some kind of interaction with them. But yeah, it's again, it's one of those things of like, I really wanted to have a whole dragon arc, and now it's like there's no way I could fit that with all of the other loose ends that I've got to tie up in book 6. So it'll be one of those. If I come back to this world someday, I can do a orc and dragon pairing of some sort. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be the dragon prequel that we've all been looking for. We'll call it the Dragon Arc, right? You
Yes.
said you wanted a Dragon Arc. There you go.
Yeah, we got Orc Dragon Rider. You said that's romantasy all over right there. Do it, man. What are you waiting for?
Yep. See, we've already, we're working like 4 books into this now. We have it plotted out. Now you have to write it.
That's all it takes.
All right. So let's talk. I'm going to switch to Jay. Let's go switch to characters for you. And I want to talk about this end series too. Cult of Hannah. Sorry.
Oh dear.
Is that okay? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, no, she'd love that for sure. I think she's probably sleeping right now, which is a bummer because she just flew to Arizona to hang out with Soren of all people. And I don't get to hang out. But the Cult of Hannah, I guess I should just talk about Hannah. Hannah is she's the main character in her own mind, I think, is how I would describe it. She is the foil to Leon's sort of stoic and cold demeanor, even though he's a softie inside. She's the effervescent, bubbly lesbian best friend that everybody wants and needs. She's based on real life Hannah, who is that exact same person. I don't know how the cult started. I know it started in the Discord. Now there's merch. There's a cult. I've lost control of the situation. If I ever have it, I think is what we're coming out to.
Gosh. This is like this. Is this like the donut holes, right? Like, this is your
Kinda.
donut holes? Yeah. Okay.
But like even more chaos somehow.
I want some merch. Where do I get the merch?
Same place you got the shirt.
Okay.
There's a whole. I gave him a whole tab. You had Cult of Hannah, and you got all the Cult of Hannah stuff. And I think they're doing a meetup at LitRPG Con. I think they're going to High Tea and their Cult of Hannah merch.
I saw that. Yes.
I don't know what the Brown Palace is going to do with that, but
Okay, well, whoever's giving the invites out, I want to go to High Tea, and I will buy whatever merch is necessary. All right.
I think that's BJ. I think she's in charge.
Okay. All right. Well, let's shift gears. It's almost okay. We have it's 8:24, so we're going to switch gears now to lore. And Tommy, I want to talk about Tony the Mind Mage.
Yeah, one of those characters that was introduced to kind of be the grumpy old, Gandalf or Dumbledore kind of figure, just to pop in when I needed to do a little bit of explanation of behind the scenes, and save Oren's life multiple times, and he just came fully formed in the moment. Like I didn't have any plan for this man other than that he was going to be an old guy who could read minds, and then he walked onto that page fully formed. And it's still to this day the only character that I loved a scene so much that I went back and I rewrote the chapter from his perspective. There's a scene in book 1 where they need some information from a guy, and everybody thinks that Tony just straight up snaps and is torturing him, and then he's just like, oh no, it's okay, it's all an illusion. He thinks it's real, but I'm not really torturing him. Which, as soon as I wrote it, I was like, that's a little dark for this series, and Royal Road, because this is before I had a podium deal or I ever thought it was going to be published. And I was just like, oh wow, I must have been having a dark night. and I loved the character so much. And I will say that I love that I was able to explore more of his history too, because I wrote that scene. I thought so much more about him and like what his motivations were and why he did the job that he does, which is essentially he's mind mage Batman. He goes around the city and he cleans up people who take the wrong skills, who might stray down one of the only illegal paths of magic in my world, like messing with people's minds. And because of that story, because of his story, I was able to tie him into a grander part of the next series. And I can't remember if it was book 4 or book 5. I think it's book 5, where he's able to talk about it. He's able to go a little bit more into how he fell into the path that he did and what happened to his family and the people that he knew. And it was really fun to be able to go back and I know I can see the chat on the side going, Tony.
That's what I'm watching. Yeah, is Allie? Is that the Allie that I know? I think it is. She's she loves
Allura?
Tony. Allura, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, there's somebody's coming as gender bent Tony, or like they're gonna cosplay it. I'm so excited because I think I just put him in a bathrobe or something with like crazy hair. And yeah, it's great. Yep, BJ.
I love Tony so much. I instantly told Tommy I'd do a Femme Tony for the con this year. Nice.
Yes.
Nice. All right. Well, that's Tony the Mind Mage. I love any character named Tony. Anyway, so let's go to Jay. This one is kind of open-ended for you. I kind of wanted to talk about the gods. Tommy wanted you to talk about the clans, but also wanted you to talk about Jade from the new series. So I'll leave it up to you.
All right, chat. You want stratification of the gods, something about clans, or do you want to talk about Jade?
And now I'm adding my cookie shenanigans. Jade is best girl, says Allie.
Go for Jade.
I think so. Yeah, Jade. Well, Allie's just spamming the chat now.
I don't know if we can count that as the. I guess it's Jade, since no one else has an opinion.
I mean, she is writing in all caps, so there you go.
She usually does, to be fair. So as we mentioned, Jade Wild being the world, and of course Jade being the AI, she is also the goddess for the world. And so the NPCs all interact with her as the goddess, and there's temples, and she is in charge of the resurrection of the NPCs. She's in charge of everything, of course. On the real world side of things, she's also in charge of the game. So she sets down the rules, she puts in the dungeons, she puts in the world bosses, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so as the game progresses, because when our MC enters the world, the game, it's very early days. There's not really a whole lot of content, and you can tell, right? And that, well, maybe you can't tell. I don't know. Maybe I didn't write it correctly. We'll see. And so as the first book progresses, we start adding more and more content as Jade starts prepping for launch, because we're moving through about a year or so, a year and change in the first book, and then the next book we'll start with adding a couple of players. So we're going to do like a beta test. And so that'll be an interesting situation there. But Jade is in the process of making the world work for that. And at the same time, she has someone to talk to for the first time in ever. And again, like I said, she's been in this world since who knows when, in her mind, millennia. And now she has a direct contact with a person who's not an NPC. She doesn't talk to the NPCs except for, not a spoiler, I guess. She talks to her priestesses, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can kind of see her personality sort of evolve, or I guess be shown throughout the book. And by the end, I think Tommy was saying it's very distinct.
Yeah.
Well, I love Jade.
We have, I mean, there's lots of comments in here about Jade. Some Ali again wants Jade to have a villain arc. So we'll see there.
Jade,
I mean,
probably. Thanks, Seafor. Appreciate it.
It's an AI, you know. I mean, it's possible, right? Things go wrong. All right. Well, we are getting close. It is normally I would cut people off at this point, but I'm not going to cut you guys off. So I have a few questions, kind of closer questions for you here. You know, you guys are obviously pretty close friends. And I want to know, what that means to you in terms of like writing and like in terms of the larger community. Obviously, you have a ton of people here in chat that have come to support you tonight. What has this community meant to you as writers?
Oh, I got this. So before LitRPG Con, I didn't know any of you people. Like I didn't know any authors. I had just started writing in August of the year prior, so 2024. So by July 2025, I was still totally new. I didn't know anybody. And I joined the LitRPG Con Discord and started meeting people. And somehow I came across this guy and he was like, "Hey, we're friends now." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And we found out that he lived like 45 minutes south of me. I recently moved, unfortunately, for both of us, but I'm only 45 minutes north. So it's only an hour and a half. You're fine. Maybe 2 hours, whatever. So we made a plan and we went to a Mexican place with our wives and had like a double date, have some Mexican food. And so both of us then had someone to hang out with other than my wife at LitRPG Con, which was great because having a friendly face, it's nice. It's nice to see that. And since then, I've gotten to know all these people, love these people. Don't tell them I said that. I got a rep to maintain.
Right.
But,
of course.
I've made lots of friends and, my wife is the friend maker. I'm not. So that's why Tommy had to tell me, I'm kind of clueless about that. But
well,
yeah, it's been great.
I met you guys when I interviewed you, of course, at LitRPG Con, and then we went to have pizza. And I didn't make a very good first impression. We went for pizza, and we went to this place that sells whole pies, and then you can also buy it by the slice. And I just assumed everybody was getting a whole pizza. So I ordered the pizza, and then everybody comes and sits down with their slices, and you guys are done, and I'm still waiting for my pizza. So you guys all had to wait for me. So
I just thought you were really hungry. I was like,
I was
cool,
really hungry. Yeah. All right, Tommy, do you want to add to that at all?
Yeah, no, I was lucky that I came up on Royal Road, so like I knew a few people, a few authors that I consider myself an introvert in real life, but when I'm behind a keyboard, I'm just like, hey, yeah, no, I'll reach out and we'll chat and I've talked to so many different authors. It's really fun. But then occasionally I'll meet one and I just vibe with them. And like Allie's in the chat, and I think I saw Seifer in there too. And they're authors who I've reached out to forever ago and was just like, oh, okay, the vibe here is good. We're friends. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And so when me and Jay were talking on Discord, I think had we already been sequestered in below decks at this point, or were we still in book discussion?
I don't know. We'd have to ask Geneva when she was hitting us with the stick to get us back down into our cages.
Somebody was talking about, how are you getting to LitRPG Con? And I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to have to fly out of Richmond. And Jay was like, oh, I live there too. I was like, oh, cool. Let's chat. And the more we chatted, I was like, oh, so he's a teddy bear. Like he acts all...
Don't be telling people that.
all prickly, but he's actually a really nice guy. And we have a lot of the same writing styles. Like we're both very much into, like he said earlier, when he says, oh, well, I write like like I'm playing a D&D game with myself. That's literally what I do every day. Like that's why I think I started writing, because I, for the first time in like 5 years, wasn't DMing a Dungeons and Dragons game. Like one of my friends was like, I'll take over and try. And it's like, I don't know how to play. I haven't done this so long. Now I have to write a book. So it was really fun just to chat with him about different topics. And yeah, he's, absolutely ridiculously prolific with his writing, but he's also very kind about it. He doesn't really make me feel bad. He occasionally will try to kick me in the pants to write faster.
Right more now.
But he's a great guy. So we vibed, we became friends, and yeah, we hung out at LitRPG Con, which was great because we could sit there and kind of decompress together, because I have social anxiety in large groups like that. So whenever I would get out of one of our events, whatever we were doing, I'd be like, I'm gonna go sit down and recharge. And he has that same kind of energy of like, cool, let's just hang and chill.
Yeah.
So LitRPG Con was just finding more family, finding more friends to be like, oh, okay, we just played this board game together and you called me by the wrong name, and now we're going to be best friends forever. As well, like Daniel. I'm like, yeah, no, he calls me Fiona because we played a board game together. I honestly don't think Dan knows my real name, and that's okay. Like, if he calls me Fiona at the next con, I'll answer to it.
I always say I've been called worse. You know,
Pop doesn't know my name either, so
Yeah.
fine.
Well, LitRPG Con guy. I mean, if you're listening to this and you didn't go last year, I tell this story all the time, but you know, I've been to a lot of conferences, not a lot of conventions, but I've been to a lot of conferences. And when you don't know anybody there, it can be really isolating. And I didn't feel that way in the slightest at LitRPG Con. It's so welcoming. And Allie's going to join us there this year. She tells me. I've actually known Allie for a really long time. I interviewed her back in 2024, I believe, for her story, Otherworldly. So I'm really happy that she's coming.
Everyone should go pick up, by the way, right now. Do it.
Yes, do it.
Yep. All right. So I've got, I think just 2 more questions here for you. The last one's a gimme. But this question is going to be fun. So tell us what you did special. What kinds of merch or giveaway things that you brought to LitRPG Con last year, and then if you can, give us a preview of what you have planned this year.
Jay.
Oh, on the spot. What did I do last year? I had
you have coins. You had coins, man. I still have one of your amazing coins. I liked them so much. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just tell people for you. I liked the coins so much that I think they call them challenge coins. That and they're thick and they're not flimsy at all. They're like legit. If this thing was like, if this thing was a gold piece, like you'd be rolling in it. But my kids loved it so much that they fight over it. But I liked it so much that I got them for Children of the Cold Moon. Now continue, Jay.
Well, those were for celebratory reasons, and then I had ribbons, of course, which I won't steal that from Tommy. And for this next coming year, I'm gonna have T-shirts. We got.
Oh, you're muted again, Jay. I think the cat muted you.
Muted me. That was rude.
Yeah.
What did I stop at?
Shirts, yeah,
T-shirts for the series. I don't know if I'm gonna have Hannah shirts. I probably will, though, at least a couple, and copies of books, because I gotta throw books at I gotta hit Richie with a book. That is apparently something I have to do.
Like actually hit him?
He has insisted.
Okay. Well, Richie, if you're listening, I'll also hit you with a book.
This one, by the way, he wants this one.
The tome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Who am I to stand between a man and his dreams? I don't. Maybe dream.
And Tommy, what about you? What'd you do last year?
I brought some bookmarks, and I also did ribbons. I did I made a stat sheet, like what would look like from my book. But then I had people, if you wanted one, you had to sit down with a D20. I brought a bunch of dice, and you had to roll your stats. There was no rhyme or reason to it. Everybody rolled it different ways. It was just kind of fun watching people sit down and fill out their stats, and then their friends would be like, oh, you've got a high wisdom but really low strength. You're obviously some sort of mage. It was just a fun little nonsense thing. I'll probably do that again. I do have shirts and coffee mugs and tote bags now. I know I've seen a few people from the Discord have bought them, and from the con have bought them. So I'm sure we'll see a few of those around. I don't know if I'll bring some to sell, mostly because I'm just going to this to hang out with everybody and chat about all the books I like. I mean, I like that I get to go as a presenter, hopefully again. But I kind of just go as a fan.
I think everyone there that's an author, that's a podcaster, like some of us are in multiple categories, but we're all fans,
Yeah. Oh, I got yelled at for waiting in line for to get Matt Dinneman's autograph. He pulled me out of the line. He's like, what are you doing? Get out. No, I'll sign it over here. You don't wait in this line.
He's very proud of that.
Yeah. It was a great moment.
I would be proud of that too. Yeah. I mean, Yes, I would tell that story 100%. All right, so tell us, guys. We gotta wrap up here. Pop Pop's probably getting nervous that we're gonna go over into his show. I don't want to do that to him. But tell us what you're working on right now and where we can find you.
You can find me at tommykerper.com or sourpatchhero.com. It's the same website. I'm currently working on book 6 of I'm Not the Hero, which is the last of my series. Book 5 will come out, I think, in August, although I'm going to try to make a push that it hopefully could come out a little earlier. I don't know if we can do that, though.
Nice. All right, Jay.
I'm currently writing book 4 of the Immortals Mask. I've already written book 8, Will of the Immortals, and the first book of the new series. So, I'm writing, I'm doing stuff. Probably find me in my Discord is the easiest way, but jkrauss.com.
And that's where you get the merch as well. It
is indeed.
Anything else for the good of the order, everyone, before we go? Anybody in chat have anything else they're dying to ask these fine men? Guys, anything for each other before we go?
How's the new car?
Virtual hug.
I sent the car back. We talked about that.
Use the new one? It hasn't been delivered yet?
No, not that one.
Darn. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Let's see. I'm going to give a shout out to Pop again over at Pop's LitRPG World. He is going to be talking with, so Joe Dan Worley, the author of Wayspring Wanderer and the Wayspring Warden, will be on at 9:00 over on his YouTube channel. Next Tuesday, I don't have an episode coming out next Sunday, but next Tuesday, Aaron Ampersand will be with me, the author of Apocalypse Parenting, at 8 p.m. So join us then. Thanks everybody for coming. Thank you too for coming.
Thank you.